Hey guys, and welcome to the first video of Marvel Season. What's up?
Is it Marvel?
Whoa. I mean, it's whichever really. We are talking about Captain Marvel today. We're doing a first impressions of Captain Marvel.
Oh yes.
Even though it's technically my second, but I won't tell you that. Oh, by the way guys, spoiler discussion. So we will be spoiling the movie. It's been out for quite a while.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into it. We literally just went to go see it.
Yes.
So,
just come back from the cinema.
Considering it was the first time you've ever seen it, what did you think?
It was... It was a good film, but it fell out of place from everything else that we've seen before.
In what way?
It didn't... It felt like... Let's put it this way. If I'd gone and seen that movie and had no idea it was an MCU movie, I'd have been like, that's a great movie. Yeah. Knowing it's an MCU movie actually lowers it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, but it just didn't seem right in the MCU. It obviously clearly was in the MCU with all the things, but it felt like it was just like, here's a thing proving it's in the MCU. Here's another thing. Yeah. Instead of just being like, oh, yeah, there's a nod. It didn't seem like nods. It felt like,
bam,
bam, you got a reference. This is an in-your-face reference. This is definitely in the MCU instead of just a subtle, off-to-the-side reference.
Yeah, because that's what other Marvel films normally do. Yeah. They're a bit more just like, here's a bit of a nod to, I don't know, Cap or Iron Man or something. This one was like, here's this, here's that, here's this, just throwing them at you pretty much. It was like, oh god. And we'll get onto that a little bit later in the review, but first impressions, because that's the name of the goddamn show, I'm with you very much in what you said. It was a good film, but in terms of like other MCU films, I'd say it was a little bit lacking. Like, it was alright, it was pretty good, and it needed to happen, because at the end of Endgame, at the end of Infinity War, the post-credit scene, it basically said, oh yeah, Captain Marvel's in the MCU.
Yeah.
So we needed a Captain Marvel movie, but it could have come out earlier, it could have come out in better time, and not in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
'Cause it like you say, it felt a little out of place, maybe. So, but overall it wasn't a bad film. So now that we've fully watched the film, and that was our very brief first impressions, let's start talking about what we liked about the film. Okay. That's a good place to always start. So Steve, what did you like about Captain Marvel?
I liked the fact that we got a nice backstory, even if it was a bit of a confusing one from beginning to end, with what seemed to be clear memories being completely, practically falsified to being completely useless. Yeah. So, and that was nice. That was nice seeing that this person regaining their own memories of stuff that happened, and seeing the false memories that they have. And it was...
I just felt like doing that.
And that was nice, seeing that well, you can work out in your head afterwards, you can see, oh, that's what happened, and that's actually her story, nicely given out, with all her powers included, of course, and how she got them.
Yeah, which was pretty great. She basically got them because she shot a power source. Yeah. Said power source, and this is a big spoiler of the thing, said power source turns out to be the Tesseract.
Yeah. Well, not the Tesseract, power source from the Tesseract.
So she still effectively got her powers from the Tesseract.
From the Tesseract, but not directly.
Not directly from it. I can see where you're coming from with that. But yeah, so anything else that you liked about the film particularly?
Well, actually, one of the things I did like was not Bruce, god damn it!
Goose.
Goose!
The cat.
Goose, oh my god.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't really make sense in the entire timeline, I just loved that. It was just like the way Fury was just playing with it for ages, and then it's just like, yeah, that really is an alien. I mean, I think the moment I was certain it was an alien wasn't the first time they said it, and the alien was like, oh, it is. I was like, nah, it's just going to be a coincidence. And I'm just like, then when they scan it, I'm like, oh my god, it really is.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Goose was a fun little addition. I know that she does have a cat in the comics, and in the comics it is also a Flurgan. And so that's of course why they added Goose, which was awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing that was a little bit weird is that in the comics he's called Chewie, not Goose. So they changed his name for the film, and I don't know why, but I think the best explanation to why I heard on another podcast was people might get confused with Star Wars.
Yes.
But I'm also at the same time like, they own Star Wars, so why should they care?
Yeah, but like can you imagine just being like, and here's Chewie, everyone's going to be like, where's Chewbacca gone? Where?
Like,
Nobody's going to be going, oh, there's a cat. There's a cat.
Yeah, it's
or a Flurgan.
A Flurgan. Yeah, it's like that. I don't know, it was just weird. Flurgan.
No, it's a weird name, isn't it?
It's fun to say though. Flurgan. You extend the and it just becomes even better. The longer you extend the it just gets even better. I'm going to screenshot that and that's going to be the thumbnail. That's just going to be great. Oh, but yeah. So Goose's edition was pretty awesome. I did like the film. I thought it was a good film, and this was the second time I've watched it. It didn't get any better or any worse.
Oh, right, okay.
Time. What I did like is I thought the story was kind of cool. And I quite liked the whole fake memory sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
I liked that. I thought that was really interesting, and it was quite cool to see the development of such. Because obviously at the very start when she appears on Earth, she's very much a foreigner.
Oh, yeah.
Come to, like, the end of the film, she's fitting in with this family, like, straight away, and it's almost like she never left sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I liked that development. That development was pretty cool. I also liked the fights. The fights were cool.
Yeah.
Apart from the last one. The last one I didn't like because you've seen these like Kree warriors whoop ass.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's just like, yeah, I'm so much better than you for pretty much no reason. Except I'm a fire god thing. It's just like...
Yeah. One thing I will say
Okay.
is I don't know if there was something I missed. The moment in the film where... I forget what's the brain thing called. Something intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
I can't... Whatever.
Supreme
intelligence.
Yeah, I think that is right.
Yeah. There was when she was like trapped in that, and then the thing on her back of her neck. I kind of felt like that was one of the moments where it's just like, why didn't that happen sooner? Like this just seems like you've learned knowledge, but like why your powers were still going through you.
It's a little bit more. It's a symbolism sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like she's breaking free of the control of the Kree, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's becoming herself, like she said, I've been fighting with one arm behind my back, let's see what happens when I'm truly free, or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, you become stupidly overpowered. But we'll get onto that a tiny bit later.
The only thing I did think maybe could be the answer, but I'm not 100%, is the fact if she, obviously her powers are from the Tesseract, the fact is she literally held it at one point. Like, did that boost her power for a minute?
Yeah, that is a good point, actually. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. Maybe not, though.
Yeah. It did seem very... What's the word? Is it Deus Ex Machina's the word I'm looking for?
I want to say yes, but I've got a feeling the comments will correct it. But let's say yes for now. I did like the addition... This is actually a slightly nice transition into things we don't like.
Yeah.
I did like the addition of the extra characters in the MCU, like Ronan. I liked how Ronan was in it. And I can't remember the character's name, but I liked how his lieutenant was in it as well, from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is that the same character?
The black guy with the two swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Ronan's lieutenant in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because I thought I recognised him from Guardians, but I was thinking to myself, I couldn't remember what his role was in Guardians.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think.
It was nice to see them.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to do more with them. Like, there is no explanation in Captain Marvel as to why Ronan suddenly goes mental.
Yeah.
As to why this guy is suddenly with Ronan and is also now part robot. Like, because
that's
he's not
point.
part
I forgot
robot
he
in
was
this.
part robot.
So I'm just a bit like, how did that happen? I mean, okay, I know they're both dead in the MCU, so they're kind of not relevant.
Yeah.
But it still would have been nice to have that information rather than developing characters who we're presumably never going to see again or developing a character that's dead. It's a bit of a catch-22 in a way. Because you don't want to do either thing, but you've got to choose one, so they were like, oh, let's develop Carol's best friend, who, again, we're probably not going to see again. I did like they were in it. I didn't like that they didn't do much with them. They were just like, oh yeah. And Ronan made basically an empty threat. The empty threat of, we'll be back for the weapon. It's like, the power source? No, the girl. Oh no, the woman. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like that was just like Captain Marvel too.
Yeah, but Ronan said that.
Yeah.
And Ronan's dead. To be fair, if they did make a Captain Marvel 2 and that was the storyline for it,
Yeah.
that would be kind of cool, but at the same time, there'd be no stakes.
Yeah.
It'd be like, nothing's going to happen to Captain Marvel, nothing's going to happen to Ronan because you know he dies in Guardians.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit like, you're just making it to make it.
Yeah. Talking about things that we didn't find out what really happened to stuff. I do like how we found out eventually, and they didn't. It wasn't obvious straight away on how he was losing his eye, but how Fury lost his eye.
Yeah.
Everyone knew it was going to be revealed in the film.
Oh, of course, yeah, because as soon as you saw him in the trailer with two eyes, everyone was like, we're going to find out.
I was surprised at that, though.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to be it.
No, well, it brings me to a nice transition, actually, of something else I wasn't a fan of in the film.
Alright.
And that was, I think, you know we mentioned earlier how it basically throws stuff at you.
Yeah.
I think it threw stuff at you, fine, but I didn't like what it threw at you.
Ah.
I think some of it was a little too menial or stupid.
Alright, okay.
The fact that Fury's eye literally goose scratched his eye and that's what happened. It was a bit just like, yeah, it's funny, but it's kind of like, oh, I expected a bit more of a badass story there.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if, I'm sure they'll probably show it in the comics or something.
Oh,
I might even look this up
probably.
and put it at the bottom. But like, I don't know if that's what happens in the comics. If it is, that's awesome. If it's not, then I'm a bit like, yeah, you've sort of just made it a little silly.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of them things actually that in the comics you don't find out.
That's fair enough.
I thought it could have been a lame version in the comics, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. If it is something even more stupid in the comics, like an actual cat.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It could be an actual cat in the comics.
That'd just be like, oh, God, body, wow, Marvel.
But then at least it'd be an alien this time.
Yeah, at least it was an alien cat. Yeah, so that was one thing I wasn't really a huge fan of. I also, and this is more of a me thing than the film, it irked me the wrong way why he called the Avengers Initiative the Avengers Initiative.
Oh, yeah.
He just was like, oh, Carol Avenger Danvers. That sounds cool. I was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice about that is, though, they never actually show you what he's written.
Well, no, that's true.
You literally, because you could just hear, because I noticed that when I was like, oh, it says Avenger, and then I was counting how many key presses he pressed, and he actually pressed enough so you wouldn't spell Avenger, you'd spell Avengers.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you could have just actually spelt the word.
Yeah, 100%. So it was a little bit like, oh, some of the things it threw at you were a little underwhelming. Not as shocking as you would maybe imagine them to be.
Yeah.
Like, Fury loses his eye. How the Avengers Initiative came to be. It was a bit just like, he called them the Avengers because he saw it on a plane and he lost his eye because he got scratched by a cat.
Yeah,
right.
I do get what you mean.
So that was a little bit of a negative for me. What about you? Any negatives?
One thing that I would definitely say I would have preferred them to do what they did do in the comics, and that's actually have the powers be passed from someone instead of just being straight up given to that person.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's one of the reasons she carried across the title of Captain Marvel, because it was from another character that was Was it Captain
It
Marvel?
was from Marvel.
Oh, from Marvel, yeah. But where it's not like a direct... Like, she didn't really get the powers from Marvel. She got it from an invention of Marvel's.
Yeah.
And that's sort of... All that power came from the Tesseract. So it feels like... It feels like because you got it from the Tesseract instead of a character that you care about, it doesn't
feel as emotional.
No.
Yeah, 100%. I can actually very much agree with that. Because like you say, in the comics there's a whole thing about Marvel.
Yeah.
But Marvel and this is just a little bit, like, just sidelined a little bit and just gone like, oh yeah, this is Marvel. She's dead now. Still, again, it's more like the B grade version rather than A grade. And
yeah.
I think that almost summarises a lot of things in the film. Like, they're kind of B grade. Like, they're good, but they're not great. Especially MCU standard. But
oh yeah, definitely.
So anything else? So one last thing to go over.
Yeah, well, one thing that I didn't like was mainly in certain scenes, Captain Marvel's going through the ship, and the scene where the sniper...
Oh yeah, Minerva?
Yeah. And it's when she's flying the ship, those moments took me out of the film because they just lost enough quality for me to go, ooh, I'm not,
Yeah.
Either it was CGI or it was just clearly too green screen.
Yeah, exactly, and it was just... I think you rounded it down to me quite well in the car. It looked almost more like video game footage.
Yes, it really did, yeah.
That brings me relatively nicely into the last thing I was going to mention, actually, and that is one thing that kind of, again, rubbed me the wrong way was Captain Marvel's powers.
Alright.
They were fine the way they were, but then they just went, now we're basically going to make a Superman now, but she can shoot laser beams out of her hands, not her eyes, and I was a bit like... okay. Like, it was a bit like... I was actually starting to really like the character, probably about halfway through the film. Well, about 2/3 through the film.
Yeah.
And then they were like, now let's see what happens when I'm truly free. And it's like, yeah, you become stupidly overpowered. It's like, brilliant. She's basically MCU Superman.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember, I can't remember which bit of the fight when she was doing this. She literally basically chest pounds this ship.
Oh, yeah, she's
I'm just like, what? No.
Yeah, some of it was just like, you've brought in a next level of power, which is gonna, I believe, make or break Endgame. Because if it's basically, here's Thanos, he was a massive threat in Infinity War. Oh, here's Captain Marvel, she punches him and he's dead. Like, that's just you've kind of just killed a really big hype machine.
Yeah.
By not really doing anything, apart from just introducing a stupidly overpowered character to go, well, bang.
I know this is going to sound really weird, but you should definitely understand this.
Okay.
Some people will not get this, because they've may never seen the series.
This scares me.
But in Ruby, people that haven't seen Ruby, there is also a character that at one point becomes way too overpowered.
You're on about Jean?
No, I'm on about Yang.
Oh, shut up, yeah. Right. That is not the same.
Yeah, right. And this is what I think needs to happen, same as what's happened with Yang in Ruby. She needs to get beat while basically using her power to full strength, and then learn to, instead of just blasting people, actually learn more combat hand to hand. Because to be honest, that guy was right. She needs to be able to fight better without her powers.
I like Jude Law's character throughout the whole thing, actually. He was pretty good. Yeah, you are right. That was actually another thing that slightly annoying. He was like, let's go, let's actually have a good final fight scene.
Yeah.
No. Okay. You saved yourself probably about 10 minutes of footage, but you've kind of killed a good hype moment at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a bit silly. She needs a moment where she basically goes all out, but still gets whooped.
Yeah.
Like, that would actually work really well. And if they used Thanos in that scenario, that would be great. Because that would mean, like, oh god, we've just played our trump card, and it's lost.
Yes.
Again. So we need to really sort some stuff out. we'll wrap up a little bit now.
Yeah.
So, final thoughts and give it a rating out of 10.
Oh, okay. I'd say that it is a good standalone movie, but I wouldn't recommend watching it. Let's put it this way: if I was going to rewatch all my MCU films, I wouldn't watch it there. I'd watch it maybe after Age of Ultron or something.
Yeah, probably even right after.
Yeah, like it's a good movie that's too late in time.
Too late in the MCU.
Into the MCU. So it's a good standalone movie, but wrong slot in the MCU timeline.
Yeah, 100%.
Chronologically speaking.
Yeah, 100% agreed. If I had to summarise it, I'd say it is a good film. It's definitely not a bad one. If you're a big fan of the MCU, like we are, and I know you guys watching presumably are as well. Definitely go watch it. It is a good film, but in the grand scale of the MCU, I would say it's quite the missable one actually.
Yeah, it's definitely a film that if you didn't see it, I feel like it's the same with Ant-Man and the Wasp, to be honest, as well. But maybe not. We don't know that going forward either. But with these films, but at the minute, it feels like if you didn't see it, you'll miss a little bit of info that you'd need to know going forward.
Maybe.
But, not much.
It's less missable than this.
Yeah.
Like you've still got some good details in Ant-Man and the Wasp, especially regarding the quantum realm.
Oh yeah.
Because presumably we pretty much know at this stage it's going to have a big role in Endgame.
Oh yeah.
So Ant-Man and the Wasp fulfills a couple of little holes that they will presumably fill in Endgame, whereas Captain Marvel doesn't really do that.
No.
It doesn't really. If the only reason I would say to really watch it is if you, especially after Endgame, is if you're super invested in Captain Marvel. So out of 10.
Out of 10. Ooh. I think I would give it 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going a little bit lower than that. I was going to go 6.5.
Oh right, okay.
Because, like you say, it is good. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
But there are better MCU films.
Yes.
And a relatively missable one of the bunch. But it is fun and a bit of a riot all the way through.
Yeah.
Is that everything? That is everything.
Yeah.
Damn. Remember, guys, drop a like.
Leave a comment.
Subscribe's always appreciated.
And don't forget to ring the notification bell to hear about the latest notifications.
Yeah, including our video coming next week, which is our Marvel trivia quiz as we continue Marvel season throughout the whole of April. Oh, that was a long sentence. God dang. Alright, thanks again for watching, guys. See you later.
Bye.